We're here kind of hijacking it a little bit, guys. We're going to be talking about some good myths to bust with window cleaning and solar cleaning. And honestly, these go by really quick, so we're just going to get right into it, man.
Yep.
So I'm going to start us off. My name is Jamie. I'm a window cleaner, Tucker rep. A lot of you guys know me. And then we got Ryan here. Ryan, say what's up, man.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Solar cleaning rep for Tucker. Been doing it for about 6 years now. So we do commercial, residential solar cleaning, all that good stuff, and happy to help bust some of these myths.
Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, we're gonna get right into it, man. So, Ryan, you do this all day, every day, right? Like
Yep.
you, I mean, you got crews, you got guys out there busting tail. What, I mean, explain kind of like just a short snippet of like solar cleaning. What's it all about, dude?
Sure. Yeah. So, it's just like anything else that you're supposed to maintain or keep maintained and everything. And there's a lot of myths out there that say that you don't need to keep them cleaned. You don't need to maintain them. Installers want to tell people that, hey, maintenance free, buy the system, you're good. Unfortunately, I don't think we have very many things out in this world that are maintenance free. So, solar cleaning is included as well. We definitely need to clean those solar panels. It helps with the longevity of the panels. It boosts the efficiency of the panels, so they're performing a lot better. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's kind of the gist of solar panel cleaning.
Nice, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And you guys, I mean, out west, there's a massive demand for it. I'm in Michigan. It's
right.
dark half the year, dude. Like we
Yeah,
don't I mean, we have solar panels here and I've done them. I've cleaned them, with the water fed setup that we have, but it's just not a massive demand. But you guys are like building towns out there, or sorry, not towns, but neighborhoods
yeah.
that like all they run off of solar, right?
Yep, yep. And it's a huge market right now for sure. I mean, communities, apartment complexes, municipalities, the big thing right now that all the schools are getting carports in their in their school lots.
Oh wow.
So huge, huge demand. California, I think, is the number one in solar in the world. Don't quote me on that, but I know they're pretty high on that sense. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a huge thing. I mean, all the homes are mandated to get them moving forward for new builds. So it's a
That's
big push
crazy.
out there. Yeah.
That's I see a lot of pros and a lot of cons to that, right? Like, you've
Sure.
heard, the grid's not set up for it. You've heard that, it costs a lot of money because I've thought
Right.
about going like even just electric, like with a car, and I have a hybrid, but like it's not just the car, right? Like you have to hook it up to your house. You got to, make sure that the plug is good in your garage, and then that
Right.
goes to your, your house supply, which then you're probably gonna have to upgrade, right? So it's a massive investment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it's just like any other industry, it just moves real fast, and probably
Yeah,
a little too fast, because like you said, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons to it. They're starting to figure out that there's wastelands of these panels that are old, where are you going to do, what are you going to do with all these panels after they're
right.
expired? So
What's the
there's
lifespan on them? Do you know?
They're supposed to be about 20, 25-year lifespan. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All
I
right.
mean, a lot of parts start to fail, which we're finding out about years 10. You start to see a lot of that stuff. And so that's a big market too, is being into the warranty claims, helping out, because a lot of these businesses they go bankrupt, and then these customers don't have anyone to fall back for a warranty claim if an inverter goes out.
Sure.
So that's actually a big thing now for cleaning companies to get into, is being able to replace these inverters under the warranty from the manufacturers, and get some jobs out of it too. So
That's awesome.
big
Cool.
industry. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So let's get right into it. Let's
Let's
start
do
let's
it.
start busting these myths out, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start.
Okay.
So myth number one for solar, man. Rain clean solar panels. That's like probably the biggest one that I hear, right?
Right.
Just kind of like rain cleaned windows, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bust that for us, man.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, just like you said, I like to use the analogy of do you rinse and brush your teeth? Are you just rinsing your teeth at the end of the day,
Yeah.
or do you
Yeah.
brush them? I mean,
Sure.
just like your car, are you rinsing your car? How good does that car look if you just give it a rinse down with some hose water? It's gonna dry up. You're not getting that agitation, and that's what it comes down to with windows or solar, right? You need that agitation to be able to scrub on that panel, on that surface, agitate that dirt, agitate the grime, all that bad stuff, and be able to remove it. So rain, I would like to call rain as a pre-rinse. It's not going to clean them. It'll help you get the light layers off. You get some dust that accumulate on the top. Maybe it'll clean that off. So in that sense, it'll help, but it is 100% not doing a cleaning that you need, in the sense of getting the brush, agitating it, giving
Yeah.
it a good rinse, all that stuff. If anything, we've heard that some rain can even make it worse, right? You wet the panels, and if it's just enough to get the dirt wet, then it's almost like a muddy substance. And so you're never really getting a full cleaning. It's just making it
Right.
worse. Yeah,
How often do you guys have to use, I know there's some soaps and stuff in there. I'm just
sure.
curious, like how often do you guys have to use those detergents?
Yeah, honestly, I hardly ever use anything. I think out of the
Okay.
6 years, yeah, I might have used one or two of the Chemitech products that we offer. Because at the end of the day, a lot of it can just be handled through water fed,
Sure.
just as
Right.
almost like windows, right?
Yeah.
There's really nothing too
A
much,
lot of maintenance cleans, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Unless it's paint removal, all that, that's just the gist of it right there. So,
Now,
yeah,
is the top of the solar panels, are those glass? Is there
yeah,
like a
yeah,
layer of glass there? So that's essentially what you're
right.
scrubbing, right?
Right, exactly. So in this, and that's I think this where we can talk about this in a little bit of the other myths, but that is the confusion where you get a lot of people that think it is it's relatable to window cleaning, but we're also talking about electrical, I mean a
Right,
high-end
right.
voltage system that
There's a
you
whole
want to
other
clean.
end to it. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. But the
Awesome.
surface of the glass or the solar panel is glass in the sense of a window. Correct.
Cool.
Yeah,
Myth
man.
number two, man. Myth number two,
Uh-huh.
you can clean panels with tap water.
Yeah,
Explain the
I
difference there.
mean, let's see. I mean, tell me how that goes with Windows. We deal with hard water spots, right? So essentially, just like we get to a site cleaning windows, and you see that the customer, it's real apparent that there's either some sprinklers that are going off, hitting those windows for a long period of time. We've had clients that obviously think that they can hose their windows down, and then we get over there and it's just calcium and hard water stains and everything. So it's the same with solar panels, man.
Yeah,
Sure, you can do it. I mean, there's a will to everything, or there's a way to every will. But yeah, I mean, if you do it on a routine basis, you're just throwing up your calcium,
sure.
especially if you're not doing a brush or an agitation, well, now you're kind of just doubling down on what you're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
You're just throwing some water up there, and on top of that, it's got a bunch of calcium deposits. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say that you can clean panels with tap water for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well,
And that's
yeah, yeah. Well, I was just gonna piggyback on there. If you know
yeah.
anything about cleaning windows with water fed, right? And if you knew the fact that the solar panels were glass,
Right.
then it
Exactly.
would
And I
make
mean,
sense too, right?
and at
Yeah.
the end of the day, that's why we got our pure water filtration systems like Tucker, right? Is
Sure.
it's gonna take all the impurities out of that tap water and make it a pure shine for your windows and your solar. So it's
Nice,
a big
nice.
reason why you can't just clean with solar or tap water for sure.
Makes total sense.
What else do you
Um,
have?
we're gonna go down the line here.
Sure.
This is I've seen this go both ways, especially in these groups.
Right.
And who knows if it's business owners or if it's actual like people like trying to like hijack these and just see like the real reasons here. But
Right.
does cleaning the glass really produce better production?
Yeah, yeah, and that's a big it's a big marketing thing that a lot of people are messing with. Like you said, I mean, it's a lot of people use that gimmick, and I think you just need to be real careful with it. Sure, absolutely, you can get a production increase when cleaning your panels. Do you know how much? No. Do I know how much? No, I'm not a field. I can't test these out in the field to be able to determine how we can, the sun in a different way in any given day is going to give a different power output, right? So
Yeah, right,
it's
true.
not just the cleaning. So you just be careful. I always like to tell my customers and be real transparent that, hey, there's going to be a production increase. I don't know what that is. You are the best one that's going to be able to tell us that because most of these homeowners now will have an app on their phone.
Mm,
They can check that production after our cleaning. So I
oh,
always
nice.
advocate to them, hey, check it out before, check the day before we clean them,
Sure.
check the day after.
Take a
If you
screenshot.
feel
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think a lot of these people they want to go on a Facebook ad and say you can get 30-40%
Phew.
increase. You're shooting yourself in the foot because if that
Yeah.
customer doesn't get that and they go, "Wow,
And let's be
I got
honest,
this."
they probably
Yeah.
won't.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Most let's say most cases I see about a 15% increase, and
Okay.
that's pretty on the strong side, right? But
Sure.
in a couple of weeks, it's going to get dirty again, and they're going to see that go down. So I try to use other aspects of our cleaning rather than just focus on that power increase.
Sure. Sure.
It keeps you honest. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I like
So
that. Yeah.
it helps.
And I like I said, I don't have solar panels. No one on my street has solar panels. There's a few people around here that have solar panels, but I don't know enough on that side. My thought was like 3 to 5%, right? I
Sure,
think if
sure.
you're gonna market it, definitely go on the
Mhm.
tail, right? Just to cover your
Right.
tail, right?
Yep, yep.
So that makes
I
perfect sense.
hardly
All
ever
right.
throw a number out there. Right.
Yeah, that's a good
Now, on the
call.
commercial
Yeah.
side, I will just real quickly say the commercial side, that's a very big difference, right? Because now we're talking thousands of panels and we're
Yeah.
talking a huge spike. And that these companies are coming out to us calling for these cleanings because they do see the ROI in these cleanings.
They can see because it's such a magnet or a
Exactly.
massive operation that they can see like, oh man, we're down
Right.
20%, right?
Right. A lot of our cleanings will end up just taking care of itself because they get that money back after that cleaning. So,
And now, just to piggyback on this a little bit,
sure.
commercial cleans. How often are you, with window cleaning side, the big thing right now is just selling packages, right? Like service
Right.
plans, all that. Are you guys reflecting that also for solar cleaning, and
Yeah,
how?
so we definitely try to get a routine maintenance plan going on. I mean, if it's most of the time we like to recommend once per year, but absolutely with some of these commercial jobs, I mean, they're doing them 4 to 5 times a year, 3 to 4
Wow,
times a year. So
dang, that's
yeah,
awesome.
you wanna build that into a contract, maybe give them a small discount for that. You
Sure,
don't want to cut
sure.
yourself short, but
Especially multi-year. Do you guys ever go to the
yeah,
multi-year? Yeah,
right. Multi-year, the cleanings are going to be easier for you because you're cleaning them so often, so it's
yeah,
less labor on all that stuff. So,
sure.
absolutely,
Nice.
100%. Yep.
Awesome. We're gonna go do a couple more here and then we're gonna switch to Windows, guys. We're gonna switch
Sounds
to
good.
Windows. So let's see. Kind of hit on that a little bit. Oh, here's a good one. You can walk on panels to clean them, right?
Ooh, yeah,
Tell me
yeah.
that one. You got any
That's another
stories?
thing too, right? And actually, you see a lot of installers that they'll kind of fight tooth and nail, and talk about how they walk on panels to install them, how they do it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, some of these solar installations can be tricky to where they have to, as they're installing them, walk on them. Does that mean that you need to walk on them to clean them? Does that mean it's totally okay? Absolutely not. There are a lot of testing that they've done that there's microfracture cracks that happen.
Mm,
You might not be able to see that, but they've shown bioluminescent testing that as these panels are being walked on, you can see the stress that's being placed on these panels, right? I
wow,
mean,
yeah.
you're talking a 150 or 200-pound guy that's walking on a piece of glass. Yeah, I'd be pretty hesitant to be doing that. So you don't want to be doing that. Don't be walking on any panels. Again, we're talking about a high voltage system as it is. So I don't think you want to be messing with any components in terms of putting yourself on top of a panel. So
Now
I would say,
that's a sealed unit, right? So like
right.
if you even have some microfractures, there's a chance of getting water inside of that, right? Which
Sure.
will damage it
Yeah.
further.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that just becomes an issue because if you're exposing that panel to open areas from those cracks, water can get in, and we've seen it where it'll start to burn out cells and cause a short in those systems, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so another part of that cleaning is making sure you are offering an inspection. Anything you
Mm,
see like that, throw that in there. That's value into your
absolutely.
cleanings, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
That way you don't get blamed
that
for it,
too,
right?
liability,
Like
100%.
even more
Yeah.
so. Okay,
Right.
we'll go one more on the
All
solar
right, man.
side. Let's do, professional cleaning isn't worth the cost. You see a
Right.
lot of people out there just kind of like Windows, right?
Yeah.
Windows is a more of like a high satisfaction instant, boom, my windows are just beautiful, right? Like how does
Yes.
that convert like with solar panels other than the
Right.
usage of the energy, right?
Yeah, no, you make a good point. I mean, obviously, when you clean windows, you can see it right away, right? You're able to show these customers the presentation after cleaning them and everything. So, yeah, you want to honestly add a lot more value to your cleaning when it comes to like I just piggybacking off of what I said is that you want to be able to include an inspection report, create value that brings them to say, okay, this is why I'm choosing you to clean. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, you can just get anyone to clean your panels,
Yeah,
but are they
yeah,
using the professional tools? Are they OSHA certified? Are they licensed, insured, right? All that stuff creates a value into your cleaning. A lot of times, the biggest concern is walking on these roof tiles, right? We have a lot of roof tiles that are concrete or they're not shingles, and people are always worried, are you going to walk on my roof? Are we breaking tiles? You're not going to tell me. Include that in your report. And just like you said, Jamie, take pictures, document it so you're saving yourself, but then
yeah,
you're
yeah.
also, but then we go up there and we see 10 broken roof tiles the customer had no idea about, and they're going to get them replaced now, right? Prevent possible leaks, prevent possible things.
Sure.
Going back to the inspection reports, I mean, we've seen some cracks that the customer didn't know, and they came back to us and said, "Hey, man, I'm so thankful that you gave this to us. We were able to get our panels replaced under warranty."
Oh wow.
Again, if that wasn't me being proactive and creating an inspection report, creating value into my service outside of the cleaning alone, then I'm not getting that satisfaction from customers. So
Right, right.
yeah, you
Nice.
really want to create value from the cleaning, break it down to what you're gonna, it's not just the cleaning that you're giving them, right? You're giving them an inspection report, you're gonna give them before and after photos, you're gonna recommend anything else that you see, gutter cleanings, all that stuff. So
Sure.
yeah,
I
more
like
of
it.
it is creating that unique selling point than just saying I'm a solar panel cleaner.
And that's half the battle, right? And this
Right,
goes for like any home service business, whether you're windows, solar, gutter, like you're a marketing company.
right.
You just happen to clean something, right? Like that's how I look at it, and that's, how, we both went through HSBC, right? Like that's how
Mhm.
David, David Mormon, he says like treat yourself as a marketing company, and that just happened to clean, and your business is going to flourish, right?
Exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump on some, some glass questions, man. What
Let's
do
do
you
it, man.
what do
I
you what
got
do you
you.
got? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's go with the top one. What you got is well, feeding off the rain. Rain makes windows dirty.
Yeah,
What do you think
yeah,
about
yeah.
that?
So, and I mean that's one of the biggest questions, especially on like rain days, when your clients are asking you, are you still going to clean? It's looking cloudy, it's looking this and that, and you really got to set the standard, set the expectation
Mhm.
that, it's not the rain. The rain is pretty pure that falls, right? Unless
Yeah.
smoke is in the sky, you got something going on,
Right.
the rain that falls is pretty pure. it's
Mhm.
it's 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 what it grabs onto, right? Just like pure water, when you're
Yes.
cleaning, if you introduce that water and those molecules have something to stick to, it's going to create spots, right? So
Right.
it's not the rain that leaves spots, it's the dirt that the rain is grabbing onto from either the frame, the house. Now, if if I see some yellow on the radar or red on the radar, like we're probably not going to clean that day. I don't want my guys holding the poles, I don't want them on ladders, right? Like first and
Right.
foremost, safety.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it's going to be raining sideways, that's a whole nother situation than just raining, right? Raining down.
Yes.
We clean in the rain all the time. We have a 7-day rain guarantee. If you don't have one, do it. It's a great marketing, great technique. Have I, 6, 7 years of doing this, have I ever had somebody come at me, one person that I can remember,
Right.
hey, it rained, can you come redo these? Absolutely will,
Yeah.
but it just provides that expectation for the client. So
Yeah.
so rain itself is clean. What makes the windows dirty after that is the dust and the particles and the grime that's already there that it pulls onto.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that because I even actually want to add that I don't have a rain guarantee for Windows, but it is something I like to use that I tell them, well, you know what, to be honest, there are companies out there that offer a rain guarantee because they know that it's not the rainwater that's causing the dirty windows. It's even the dirt splashing off the ground after the rain, right? Or
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
accumulation of the dust. So
sure.
yeah, yeah, I like that. So I definitely need to implement that in just a 7 day because I know at the end of the day, no one's going to really press you on it unless you get that one, right? But
Right.
it's quality assurance. All right, cool.
Absolutely.
So let's get into do water-fed poles leave spots?
And this is a question that you get, first of all, from the client perspective, right?
Right.
Because once again, expectation goes such a long way, guys. And I
Yeah.
get these questions all the time from other cleaners that we work with here at Tucker, or that I
Mhm.
see on my socials or YouTube or whatever. They're like, they just don't, they're not educated, right? So you have to
Right.
set that expectation. um, they can leave spots, but it's usually the case of it's not being used properly. It's
Sure.
not being properly executed. Maybe the water is not properly getting filtered, whether
Yep.
it be a filter problem or a setup problem. Maybe you have something backwards. Any spots that are left behind are usually due to contamination, or poor filtration, like I said. So,
Right.
especially if you have dots behind you, you got to run your finger over that, run your fingernail over that. Is it dots from the dirt, or is it hard water? Is it calcium buildup?
Exactly.
Because that's
Exactly.
another massive one too. To set the record straight, pure water will not get, calcium, hard water off of windows.
Right.
And I have that as an add-on. I don't include it. Maybe I will one day, right? But that's all part of my agreement that I send out to people. So
Yeah.
so most of the time it's, they're just not educated in the system. If it's coming from an owner operator standpoint, or the client, you just need to educate on what's going to be happening after and as you use the pure water.
Yeah. And I think just going on top and off of that is you're not going to use that system in every scenario, right? Because
Yeah.
it might be a windy day. And so we're not going to
Sure.
pull out our water fed system on a windy day where dust and grime are going to capture onto that water, right? So, and going to the expectations, yeah, just let your customers know what the deal is. I like to say it's a spot-free car wash, and if we do leave spots, we're going to take care of it. That's the end
Absolutely.
result, right? We were talking about a couple callbacks the other day, and we're going to get them. The volume's
Yep.
going to get it. You're going to have them, and if you just take care of them the right way, you handle them, say, hey,
Yeah.
no problem, we're going to do it. Then
Yeah.
that's it. You're never going to
Yeah.
have any issues with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
I had a callback today. I had one yesterday, right? Like, and I'm not much on the truck anymore, so
Sure.
it's so much harder,
Exactly.
as you know, not being on the truck much. It's like, you're putting your trust in your crew that you
Oh yeah.
hope have you have trained and you have really, set the standard for.
Yeah.
But nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's just if you want to retain that client, you got to make it right. And
Exactly.
we can get into that later too, but.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Let's keep going. And what do we got? Glass sealants and coatings are a scam.
So I'm not a big fan of providing that service. I do
Same here.
know, there's some big franchises out there, some big cleaners out there that are, pretty active on socials that, love to put that in their packages. Hydrophobic coatings do help reduce minerals,
Sure.
and they help reduce spotting. If I'm going to use it, it's going to be on a skylight. Right.
Hmm.
It's going to
Okay.
be on maybe a lakefront type of situation where
Okay.
the bugs in the water come up, especially if you're seaside, right, with salt.
Right.
But why would you want to put a coating on something that is going to take you longer to get a callback for, right?
Exactly.
Like I want to be in these houses as much as I can, offering
Right.
2 and 3, maybe even 4 cleanings a year. If you're putting coatings on there and sealants, it's awesome. The client's gonna love it, but you're not gonna get a call from that client for probably 6 to 8 months,
Yeah.
if that, right? Because
Right.
their windows still look decent. And it's gonna be probably a little bit harder to clean next time you clean them because now
Yep.
you've introduced a foreign substance to that glass.
Exactly.
So they're definitely not a scam, but you have to weigh the pros and cons. Is it worth it? And is that, I mean, if you're charging a super premium and it makes sense for you and your profit margins, do it. But
Right.
for me, I want to be in these houses as much as possible, as many times as possible.
Right.
I'm not going to help them not call me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I love the value too, because there are some solar wash protects out there, and that's all great stuff, right? I mean, it helps the customer, it keeps them clean longer. But yeah, you got to find that line on if you're going to sell it, or you're going to let your employees get commission on maybe selling those products. Because yeah, at the end of the day, if you're not finding where that money, you're losing your money because of drop-off visits, you got to keep that in mind. So
Right,
yeah, I like
right.
that. All right, well, we got one that kind of switches up in as far as window cleaning, but I really love this. So I can't raise my prices or I'll lose my clients. What do you got to
Oh
say
man.
about that?
Yeah, that was me, right? Like 3 or 4 years
Yeah,
ago, I was still stuck on the truck and I was just trying to figure out kind of which direction I wanted to go. And I
yeah,
hadn't raised my prices in a couple of years, because I'd found that sweet spot, right?
mm,
But raising your prices, as long as it's done strategically, I mean, honestly, it filters out the low value clients, right? Like
yes,
everybody has,
absolutely.
when, if you're watching this and you're just starting, like jump on every job you can,
Right.
right? Every job you can to get your name out there, to get the money coming in, to get the revenue coming in. That's what we have to do to get the business rolling. But at the same time, eventually you're going to be able to pick your clients, right? And
Yes.
you're going to learn within, I would say, 15 to 20 seconds of a phone call or an in-person meeting if you want that client to be yours or
Right.
not. And and I'm at a place, and I'm sure you are too, Ryan, is we're at a really sweet spot in our businesses where we can say no,
Yeah.
to clients if they throw up any red flags.
Right.
And I think if you strategically, you know, increase prices a little, maybe a little slow at first, and then kind of ramp it up a little bit, you're going to get those tire kickers or those low tickets that have been dropping your average ticket off, so
Yeah.
you can, actually raise that ticket, right? So
Right.
and I learned this a couple years ago as well. If you're booked out, like I used to say, oh, I'm 3 months out, I'm 4 months out,
Right.
that's not necessarily a good thing,
Yep.
right? Like you don't want to be booked out that far. When you're solo, you love it. But if you have scaling on the mind, if you have off the truck off the mind, it's usually a prices, or it's usually a sign that your prices are too low, right?
Exactly.
So
Right.
for me, I like to be around that 50 to 60% acceptance rate.
Okay.
If I'm encroaching 70 to 80, my prices are way too low. If I'm getting down towards 20 to 30, maybe even 40, okay, something's got to give. Or it's not just the prices sometimes. Sometimes you can just add value,
Right.
to those existing packages. So,
Yes.
yeah, take that as
Yeah,
you,
and
as you will.
yeah, and I like that because not only are you're gonna weave out the tire kickers, but even the ones who might leave you those filthy bad reviews. Because actually I had one the other day where price was fine, it wasn't, but if it been higher, this person probably wouldn't have used us.
Sure.
And for them, it was more of needing the window cleaning versus wanting the window cleaning.
Mm,
You want customers that want it, right? They're not worried about the budget necessarily. They're just like, I want it done. Here it
yeah.
is. It's not
Yep.
like, oh, I need this and I'm going to nitpick everything. And if the price is too high, I'm even going to leave you a 4-star review. And that's what
Sure.
happened is she
Yeah.
knew the price, but she still left me a 4-star review saying the price was too high.
Yeah.
Now, if I had my minimum at, let's just say 200, she probably wouldn't have gone for it and I wouldn't even had to deal with her, right? So
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
to filter them out all the way.
I've
Cool, cool.
I've I've had the exact same thing happen. Like I have one 4 star on Google, right?
Right.
Like I've been pushing really hard on my 5 stars. And
Yeah.
the one guy that left the 4 star, everything went well,
Right.
everything went great. He gave me two reasons why he didn't give me a 5 star. One, he just doesn't leave 5 stars, right? It's
Yeah.
weird, but he just like, we just don't leave five. Okay, that's weird.
Right.
And then he goes, your price was a little high. Do
Yeah.
you mean the price that you signed the agreement on, right?
Yeah.
Like the price
Exactly.
that you okayed to me to come
Wow.
and do? It
Right.
boggles my mind.
That's crazy. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're wrapping up. Let me get you a couple more in here. Let's talk about, yeah, the slow season. Does that slow season mean stop advertising?
So I used to think so, right? And as I try to scale my company, Hallman Window Washing, and I see other people trying to do the same, um, that's usually when your competition disappears, right?
Mm,
Like usually the off seasons, is when your competition disappears
I
and your
like that.
visibility can skyrocket if you play those cards right.
Okay.
So, here in Michigan, we're very seasonal. I'm primarily residential.
Hmm.
So, I don't do much cleaning from, late November, December, January, February, as we're in a flippin' Arctic, wonderland here.
Right.
And nobody's calling me to wash their windows as well.
Yeah.
But you can still keep that advertisement up, booking, whether inside's winter or pre-spring work, right, to really set your spring up to just roll with it. And you really want that off-season momentum. So I wouldn't kill the advertising, but I would maybe throttle it back a little bit, right?
Sure.
Because no matter what you're using, whether it be Facebook ads, Google ads, LSA, whatever, you're going to lose a lot of that momentum that you gained in the season. So don't
Sure.
kill it all the way, but throttle it back a bit. That way, when spring comes, you can throw it back into gear.
I love that. I love that. And I think honestly, you just go into where you're talking about shifting, just dial the paid ads back and get into more organic, right? And I always like to say you're planting the seeds. You might not get a lot of it during the winter, but as you're planting those seeds, you're sowing out there, you're going to local chamber of commerce meetings, you're
Yeah, yeah,
networking, do those kind of interactions so that when
absolutely.
spring comes, whoo, you can't even
Yeah,
handle it because you've just been planting those seeds, baby.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's the way
all
to do it.
right. Yep. Let's get maybe one or two more in here.
Yep,
Let's say what we got. Let's go with big jobs equal big profit.
yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah, so that's like instantly comes to mind, right? Like you're like, oh man, this job is a massive, and it's gonna create me so much money, right?
Yeah.
But that's not always the truth. You got to factor in travel, setup, all the risk involved can eat away your margins.
Yeah.
So what I've found, and I'm trying to keep my business as lean as possible. So I
Okay.
want tight routes. I want,
Right.
repeat clients.
Right.
Usually I guarantee you're going to make more per hour on those repeat
Mm,
clients than you are on those big jobs that have a lot of risks and have a lot of unexpected things involved,
yeah.
that you didn't really account for. Construction cleaning, I won't do it.
Right.
First off, there's not a lot of builders around here that like my prices, but I do that on purpose
Sure.
because there's so many things a part of construction cleans that can come up that take you way longer. Maybe you underbid it, maybe you bid it well, but it still sucked, right?
Right.
So we stay to our niche. We love residential. We love a certain kind of residential. And as we kind of grow, I'm sure that's going to get different and you kind
Yeah.
of got to pivot. But yeah, that it's not necessarily all the case.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. It's a tough one to kind of deal with, because yeah, you want to get that big exciting job. You get excited, hey man. But at the end of the day, I'm learning too, there's a lot more headaches when you that can be unexpected,
There
and
is.
then all of a sudden you're on the negative side of things. And going just real quick to top it off with residential, yeah, I mean, if we can do 10 solars in a day at $200-300 a solar system, I mean, that's fast, easy money. That's an hour each job, hour and a half each job. Sure, those are bread and butter, right? So yeah, it's not always the size that you want to go after, guys. Cool. I love
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So I think where are we at right now? Close to
We're at
time or
31 minutes. We can
yeah.
wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
This was cool.
It's been awesome. Ryan, do you want to tell them how they can reach you
Yeah.
if they have any questions?
Yeah, yeah. So both of us can help you out in any way, Tucker related or even just industry. I know we both love helping people in general. Doesn't always have to be just Tucker products and everything. So always reach out. But you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Most of my handles are Tucker Pro Ryan. And yeah, look out, reach out to me. And I'm always able to help with sales, solar related, all of it. I still, as we've probably heard right now, we both own our businesses still. So we're very much into the industries and would love to help you guys out. What
Yeah,
about you, bro?
absolutely. Same here. I'm Jamie. I own Hallman window washing. You can text or call me anytime, 269-769-8849. I'd be
Oh,
happy to talk shop. If you have any questions about any equipment, we'd love to help you out, and we appreciate you guys coming in for another Waterfed Wednesday, guys. Take it
all right,
easy.
Jamie.
Oh, real quick, if anything helped you, if I don't care where you're watching, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, if you got any value out of this, guys, hit a like, hit a subscribe on it, Tucker. Drop a comment.
Shoot us a
Tell us what
message,
your
drop a
favorite
comment.
myth was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jamie.
So
Well, this is cool, man. Let's set this up again soon and figure out a couple topics that we can work on.
I'm down. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, brother.